if I wanted to get into that space, if I wanted to be a wholesaler, would you recommend myself seeking a mentor and paying for them?
So this is a great topic, right? We're in it now. You hear lots of people talking about mentorships and like, do I need a mentor or do I need a mastermind, right? And I think to some extent those things are important. But here's actually like what I see day in and day out. So I've only been doing this for a little less than 4 years. I have never, in the 4-year time that I've been doing this, ever met somebody that never has had zero experience, went to a mentor or a mastermind or any other group, and then became successful. I don't know one single person that has happened to. What I do see are people going to these groups and really never taking action, right? Or going to these groups and having like this false expectation of what is possible. And really what I see more than anything, including somebody that I just hired, is people paying for a mentor and losing that money completely and not really learning anything and never completing any deals. So I just mentioned that I hired somebody. I hired a new acquisition manager who spent $30,000 on a rich dad, poor dad coach. He didn't do any of the actionable steps that they were told to do. Right, so they paid for this training, the trainer comes in, they go over all this stuff, so it's just a data dump, and then the trainer's gone. And now you're left with this $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 bill on information that you could have got for free. They give you just enough information to get you excited and to get you started, but they don't give you like all the fill in the blank stuff. And like one of the things that he told me was, man, I didn't realize that this is like a whole nother job, because he left one job to go do this full time and he thought it was just going to be easy. Mm-hmm. But it's actually work. It's actually like a full-time job. And that's the part that they don't tell you. These people come in to try to teach you skills that you don't have, and then they leave, and then so you're just in the dark. What I see are beginners going or paying for these things, not taking any actionable steps, or buying a property and there's tons and tons and tons of problems with that property. Or the contractor rips them off. Or a story I just heard recently where the contractor was doing demo work and demoed more than he should have, and now the whole house needed to be demoed. And then going back to whether or not a newbie needs a mentor, I personally believe that you will learn more through failure. You'll learn more through doing it and figuring it out yourself. Like I remember when I was a kid, I would take apart the TV and the VCR and the computer and then put it all back together, right? So like there's something to being able to do that yourself. And I think that people just want the answers right away as opposed to putting in the time and the work to figure it out for themselves. And there's something that happens psychologically when you do it yourself. You actually learn it as opposed to like somebody just lecturing. Like I just pictured like school.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I hated school. I never really learned much. So to each his own. So those are my opinions on whether or not I think a newbie should do it or not.
So do you see a trend in those newbies going to those events in like their behavior, like what their expectations are? I'll
tell you what I do see. I do see a trend in the events growing. I get that people want to help. I want to help. So there's obviously some of that in these videos. We want to be able to provide value, but I really have nothing to sell. So a lot of these other programs, they're selling something. There's an upsell. I also kind of feel like they're preying on the weak, because the reality of it is most experienced investors are not going to these specific masterminds. They're going to like these private ones that nobody really knows about. At least that's where I would go. So that's just my thought process on that for sure. And once again, like all the information that is being presented, even the stuff that like I do speaking events and I present stuff, but all the stuff that I talk about is like information that you can get anywhere. It's all free, right? So if you do any type of reading, any type of podcasting, or any other type of like networking, we're actually going to different maybe small little subsets and meetings, you will learn all this information. And I personally think that you'll be able to meet people who will help you along the way versus trying to find a mentor all the time. People are busy. Not everybody has time to bring on a mentor. So people ask me all the time, and I just don't have the time. So I think there's other ways you can find people to help you.